One. Hi, everyone. This is Shayla, the helpful realtor, and I have Loan Officer Barry with you. Say hi, Barry.
Hello.
We're having, first of all, welcome to 2026, everybody. Welcome to 2026, new year, new home. And that is the name of the game to get first time home buyers. And also, if you want to get a bigger home or downsize, we're here to help. Tomorrow, just so you guys know, one of the biggest reasons why we wanted to go live today is tomorrow we have an open house in Clinton, Maryland at 8518 Cedar Chase Drive. It's a 5-bedroom, 2-car garage, fenced in yard, gourmet kitchen, full works, right? Um, we hope to see you there from 1 to 4 p.m. If that home is not a great home for you, of course we have other options on the market. Speaking of the market, Barry, tell us what you think about the market right now.
So actually, we got some good news. So hate him or love him. Trump made an announcement that really helped with interest rates. So we started seeing rates drop a bit. So that's a good sign
Nice.
to start out the year. Because we know
Mhm.
affordability has been a challenge for these last few years for a lot of buyers. So
Absolutely.
lower rates will
Absolutely.
definitely help. People that are looking to purchase a home. So market
Right.
is looking good.
Stabilize. Mhm.
Yes. Market is looking good. Really good time for buyers. There's a
Heck
lot
of a
of
time for buyers.
yeah. I mean, you can really negotiate some aggressive deals right now.
Mhm.
So, the buyer market is booming right now. But one thing that you got
Mhm.
to keep in mind is that opportunity don't stick around.
Right.
So whenever
Absolutely.
whenever the market is good for you, it's best that you are ready and you jump on in and take advantage of some good deals.
Absolutely. And let's talk
Yeah.
about like getting ready. So how do you ready your clients? What is like some bottom line, baseline things that you do in order to get the file going and get them kind of understanding what this all entails?
Yeah, first thing is just, getting an application in. It's
Mhm.
like going to a doctor, right?
Right.
The doctor can't really diagnose you until they see everything. Like they take all your vitals, take your blood pressure and everything
Mhm.
like that. So that application is like me looking at all your vitals, your credit, your asset,
Mhm.
everything that we need to look for, just to make sure that you're in good shape. And a
Mhm.
lot of people believe that, when they do an application, that means like, they got to buy a home. And that's not necessarily true. The pre-approval is really
Exactly.
information, right? So
Mhm.
you can determine whether it's a good time or not, to purchase a
Mhm.
home. I'm really big on education, helping my buyers understand every, nook and cranny of this process, right?
Mhm.
Because,
Mhm.
I want this to be a smooth and good experience for them.
Mhm.
Not just up front, because it's exciting buying a house up front, but I want to hear,
Mhm.
a year from now that you're still enjoying that house, and everything is
Absolutely.
working well for you.
Mhm.
So just to make sure that they are fully educated on, buying a home is the most important step in the process.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I'll take a look at credit, so if there's anything that like if minimum credit score that we typically look for, especially for first time home buyers, is going to be a 640. Because to
Okay.
me,
Oh,
yeah,
s- okay. All right.
yeah,
Sometimes I
uh,
hear it a little bit lower and sometimes I hear it right there. I
yeah,
know
and
some folks are, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'll explain that. So 640 is
Mhm.
typically the minimum for first time home buy program. So like your Maryland mortgage,
Mhm.
DC open doors, HPAP, they're going to look for a 640 credit score. You
Mhm.
can get qualified with a lower credit score, but you may not be able to take advantage of the programs.
So
Uh,
it's like full advantage versus partial advantage, right? Or
exactly.
getting in or full
Yeah,
advantage.
exactly. And the number one thing too is that, the higher your credit score, the better terms you're going to get, more options you're going to
Mhm.
get from a lending standpoint. So, we
Mhm.
always, you know, although we can get you pre-approved at a lower credit score, I want to make sure that my clients get the best deal possible, right?
Mhm.
So, say
Mhm.
for instance, I look at your credit score and I see a way that where we can jump your score by 30 points. I'm gonna recommend that to you. I'm gonna say, hey, look, I can get you
Mhm.
approved now, but you can get better options by, paying down your credit card $500, or,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
so we'll go through those options to make sure that you get the best terms. Because I just don't want to, throw you into a financing when there's better options that you can take advantage of by improving your credit
Exactly.
score. Yeah.
And it
Yep.
really depends. Like, I feel like on the agent side, it really depends on how fast they're looking to get in a
Mm-hmm.
home. Some
Yeah.
people have to get into a home quick, and while some people, their parents or maybe their landlord isn't kicking them out right away, right?
Right.
So that's where we have to discern if it's full court, right? Like
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
full access, or is it, hey, let's just try to get you a home right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's kind of like you said, like a doctor doing that intake form and really talking with them and communicating with them,
Mm-hmm.
um, each process and each value that you can provide to them, right,
Right.
and that they can afford.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
That's
a
the
big
biggest
thing.
thing is that, you know, because there's lenders, will tell you, oh, you're approved for 500,000, for example.
Hmm, hmm.
But that payment
Can you
might not
afford
be,
it?
yeah, it may not be in your budget.
Right.
And that's another thing about getting pre-approved. You can see what the payment is and say, evaluate your lifestyle. I'm like, oh, I like to travel. I like to eat out. I like to
Hmm.
shop. Can I still afford these things and this mortgage? Right.
Right, right.
So so the starting with the pre-approval allows you to kind of evaluate all those things and make a good decision as far as where you want to be mortgage wise.
Mhm, mhm.
Yep.
And I think, one thing from I think for both on the real estate and mortgage side, a lot of, customers,
Mm-hmm.
I'll call them customers, they aren't clients just yet, especially prior to an application or prior to a buyer agency
Right.
agreement sign.
Mm-hmm.
um they get nervous when lenders are like, you're going to pull my credit, and what if you don't approve me? So how do you walk me through how you reduce that anxiety?
Yeah, yeah. So I always start out with a saw pull of their credit report, right? And so a saw pull has no impact to your score.
I
It
think, say
allows.
that again, because I don't think people understand
Okay,
that
yeah.
part.
So
Say it
a
again.
saw pull has no impact to your score at all. Listen, it's a way that we are able to evaluate your credit, and because there's a lot of things that we look for, right? There's a lot of guidelines that lenders have to follow, and without us looking at your credit, so for example, you could have a 670 credit score, but you filed bankruptcy a year ago, right?
Mm,
And if we don't know that, then that could disqualify you because we need a 2-year waiting period after
right.
bankruptcy to purchase a home, or if there's student loan debt, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's certain things that we have to account for. And to be quite honest with you, a lot of you guys don't be honest about what's on your credit.
Right.
So we got to
Right.
look at it, for ourselves and make sure that, we have everything covered. And it's really just to make sure that you have a smooth approval and that, you're not going to have any situations coming, down the pipe once you're under contract. So,
And that's
yeah.
ultimately
Hmm.
what we want,
Yeah.
is make sure we're transparent to a level of professionalism, and making sure we get from application to close. That's like the
Yeah.
biggest thing. And I don't think sometimes clients at that point understand what we go through to get them to the
It's a lot
finish
of work.
line. It's
It's
a
a lot
lot
of
of
work.
work. It's a
Yeah.
lot of work.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Cedar Chase. Cedar Chase has
Yeah.
been my listing since September. That's how long. And guys, you're like, oh my God, it's a long time. Honestly, I think in every area, every zip code is different. And I don't know what happened to Barry, come back. Every zip code is different, meaning some zip codes, the home may stay on the market for 20 days. Some zip codes, it might be longer. Right now, like Barry was saying, he'll be back in a second. Let me make sure he is still there. Yeah, he's still there. Um, but as Barry was saying, it's a buyer's market right now. I don't care what anyone says. There are some really fabulous deals out there. The only issue is that I'm finding as an agent is, like, for example, back in 2015, we can buy a 3-bedroom home with a bathroom and a half bathroom for 240, which is like a first time home buyer's price range. Normally, um and let me go back a little bit. I've been an agent for over 20 years. Okay. So I've seen it, the market high, I've seen it low, I've seen it in the middle as well. And typically, buyers like homes, especially first time home buyers, they like to be in that 250, 300. And unfortunately, right now in our market, 250 doesn't give you the 250 that it did even 10 years ago.
Okay.
Hey Barry, you went out for a second. I know you back. I was just explaining about home buyer price ranges, right? So I was saying that, you know,
I
just
can't
10
hear you,
years
Sheila.
ago. Oh, you can't? Oh boy, Barry. You sure you can't hear me? Because it's working. I can hear you. I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
I don't know. All right. Um, hold on. Let me remove you. I'll text you too. I don't know why you can't hear. So edit mic settings. Echo cancellation, automatic mic adjustment. Okay, I'm gonna message you because for some reason it was working and it's not. There it goes. Okay, so for you guys in the audience, that's kind of like the only bad thing right now, right? Like we have some great deals, but they're still not technically deals, and so a lot of buyers, I think he's back, a lot of buyers are still dragging their feet because they want the best deal. And just right, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, you can hear me now. Okay. Um, the best deals are not the deals that we saw in 2015, 2016, where you could literally buy a detached home in some counties for under 300,000. So that is kind of the issue right now. Yes, there's a lot of deals on the market, but it's still not at the point where especially first time home buyers feel most comfortable with, because at the end of the day, in over what 20, 30 years, salaries haven't adjusted to the point of that you can afford this type of house.
Yeah.
So if you don't change your spending habits, you're going to be living house poor, especially now energy is through the roof. BGE and everybody's bill is like 30% higher. Some people I know have $800 bills, which is insane.
Yeah.
And that's just the nature of the beast. So you have to find something affordable. Barry and I had a mutual client just last fall, and we were able to find something suitable for him. Obviously, it's not his gold star, like it's not like the perfect home. But when you have starter homes, it's exactly that. It's a starter home. It's not your forever home. And if it is, great. Some people do have forever homes. Like for me, for example, my home that what we have now, it started off as a starter, but I ended up falling in love with the area. And now we're thinking about just, and Barry, we talked to you about this. We're going to tear down a house and rebuild, or fix it and rebuild because we like the house. And as a homeowner, you can do that once you own the home. Now, this is the part where I think it struggles a little bit. Like for me, I don't have an HOA, which is like chef kiss,
Yep.
which means I could do anything I want, basically,
Yep.
without oversight of the government or local policies or even in associations. When you have an HOA, it doesn't matter if you change. Sometimes it depends if you change outside of your house, right? Those are more like townhouses or condos really. Sometimes it could be, hey, I want to get this fence, and you have to get it approved if you have an active HOA. So that can be daunting for some people to have to go through that process. So I always say, like, the best house is one that you don't have to have an HOA, and then that's money you don't have to worry about. It could be, as small as $21 a month, but that's still something that you can put in your gas tank, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. So I'm just saying, Barry, how, like, even though it's a buyer's market, technically we aren't completely dissolved down to how it used to be in 2015, where you can buy a single family home for like under 250, under 300. Exactly. I think honestly, buyers are waiting for that to happen. And since I brought that up, do you think knowing that you've been in the business for a while, do you think we're going to see those prices again?
Not really. No, home prices are not going to really go down much. Now, the one thing that I think that it's important for people to realize that, sometimes you got to pivot with the times, right?
Mhm.
And don't think of a house as just shelter,
Mhm.
think of your house as like a tool, right? So, and like you were talking about before, your starter home is the home that can catapult you or be the catalyst to get you to that next home, right? So it doesn't have to be,
Mhm.
uh, you know, the new construction or the home with, all the bells and
Mhm.
whistles
Mhm.
starting out. Because when my wife and I bought our house, we just saw a house that had a blank canvas, and we was like, we're gonna make it our own, and
Nice.
and so, but we bought something that we both felt comfortable to afford and also live our
Mhm.
lifestyle.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and speaking of Cedar Chase, so when I did the open house with you, there was a person, a girl there, and her friends were looking to rent out the property, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I was like, this would be an awesome idea if you had like four friends that
Mhm.
were professionals, had good income, and you guys could get along, to purchase this home together, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because say 4 or 5 years down the line, you guys decide, you want to get married, you can start your own family. You're walking into some equity, right? That
Mhm.
the other
Mhm.
uh people or your other friends could just buy you out, and you can take your 25,000 or whatever, instead
Mhm.
of you guys rent an apartment together, buy a house together,
Mhm. Mhm.
and although the payment may be, let's say, $5,000, you split that between four people, you're looking at $1,250 a month, and you're
Cheaper
not going
than
to
rent.
find cheaper than rent, right? And you're getting money. The money that you're spending, you're getting that back.
Inequity.
It's inequity. So
And just so everybody know, I think I'm right, but I just want you to confirm. I believe on a loan you can have up to 7 people, correct?
you can, yeah,
Oh, you're
you typically,
hesitating.
yeah, yeah, but generally, it gets convoluted when you start adding that many people into the
Yeah.
mix.
Mhm.
So typically most lenders, we stick around like that 4 person mark. Um, outside of four, then we start, dig into some deeper guidelines and stuff like that, like as far as how much you have to put down and everything like that.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let's before Felina should be jumping on soon. Let's dig into some numbers with
Hmm.
Cedar Chase. Tell me, you have some numbers for me with Cedar Chase. So let's say if someone bought it for $599, what
Yeah.
would be their down payment, their cash to close, and let's say their monthly payment? What would that look like for someone with like
Yeah.
chef kiss credit?
Yeah. All right. So looking at probably, so 3% is the minimum if you're a first time home buyer, right? So you've been looking
Mhm.
at about
Is that using
17.
FHA or is it conventional? Probably FHA, right?
Conventional.
Oh,
Conventional.
conventional. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay,
Hmm.
okay,
So yeah, so you'll be looking at about 17,000 for your down payment. Closing
okay,
costs is typically going to be 4 to 5% of the.
okay,
So altogether, you're looking at about 47,000 for down
okay,
payment and closing costs.
okay.
To bring to the table. Now, there are programs that we could use, such as Maryland Mortgage Program,
Mhm.
which will allow you, will give you down payment assistance in the form of a second loan. So that
Mhm.
17,000 can be covered by Maryland Mortgage Program and a portion of the closing costs also, because they'll give you a
Okay.
5% loan. So 5% of the purchase of the loan amount, they'll give you as a
Mhm.
loan to cover the down payment and a portion of the closing costs.
Okay. Now, do you help veterans as well? Because obviously,
Mhm.
Andrews Air Force Base is a hop, skip, and a jump. It's
Yeah.
like 7, 8 minutes away from the property,
Mhm.
which we have a lot of veterans and we have a lot of retirees who want to use their benefits. So, tell me how they can use their benefits and what would be the price to get them in the house, cash to close.
Yeah, so the VA loan is one of the best loans out there because there is no down payment required with a VA loan.
Right.
Additionally, and also if you are 100% disabled,
Mhm.
you don't pay property taxes, right? So that
Mhm.
diminishes the payment tremendously. So yeah, the VA loan is probably, I almost consider going into the to the military just to get a
For it,
VA loan.
right?
Yeah, I mean it's one, interest rates are very competitive. You could probably get into the fives, like high fives right now using VA.
Mhm. Okay,
Um,
that's awesome. Okay.
so yeah, so you would be scratch the down payment. You just need the closing costs. Um,
Awesome.
to get
Awesome.
into the home. Yeah.
Um, and with this particular home, because it's not going to be for first time home buyers, right? It's going to be for those who
Yeah.
maybe are starting a family or
Mhm.
maybe have an elderly parent, because there is a bathroom, like an area that they can use technically to set up a kitchen and a full-on bedroom with a closet in the basement.
Yeah.
So it may be for, those individuals, and they're like, "Hey, I read on internet about 1031 exchanges.
Yeah.
How could they make that work at Cedar Chase, 8518 Cedar
So
Chase?"
that's really geared for investors, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's something to where you're transferring one rental property for another, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So that property that you're living from would have to be in some shape of a rental, right? So I know a
Mhm.
lot of people, so for example, there's a way that you can get around this, but always consult a tax
Yeah.
advisor.
Right. Of course. Always consult your tax advisor.
but say for instance, you have a two-level home right now, right? And if you
Mhm.
rent out that second unit, I mean, your basement,
Mhm. Mhm.
you're filing at least for 1 year of rental income, you could potentially use the 1031 exchange, even though that's still counting your primary.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. And the last
so,
one is an interesting one. And I'll be
mhm,
honest with you, it's one that I don't see often. I think I
mhm,
don't see it often because I don't think people actually are aware it's an option. That's for people who have vouchers,
yeah,
who decide they want to own a home. And you can actually use the voucher program. They have a home ownership program
mhm,
through that office that allows you that it will pay for your some parts, I think most of it, a lot of it, let's say it that way, a
yeah,
lot
for
of
the mortgage, yeah.
your monthly mortgage. So tell
Mhm.
me about that. Like, how can someone, jump on that opportunity
Yeah,
who's in
so
that particular space?
yeah, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never
It's
done one before. That
mhm.
way, I know it can be done.
I haven't either, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, it can be
It's a
done,
different
and I
space.
yeah, and I'm not gonna say I know I'm like an expert on it, because
Mhm.
I have no experience with structuring a loan using a voucher, but it can
Mhm.
be done. Something
Mhm.
worth looking into, I would say.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, so I would definitely, I would consider, definitely take it on if it came my way, and
Yeah,
we'll learn
yeah.
together.
Yeah, yeah. So that
Put
is
that
certainly
together. Yeah.
something that I'm going to be baking in the
Hmm.
kitchen, in
Yeah.
the real estate kitchen for
Yeah.
2026, is
Hmm.
to really understand that, because that's a whole new egg. That's a whole new dinosaur egg that a lot of
Yeah.
people haven't cracked, and it
Yeah.
gives a lot more people more security and access, because a lot
Hmm.
of voucher uh, recipients, they move because maybe their home has rodents, or it has mold, or
Hmm.
keep or right, and they want something that they can call their home,
Right.
right, for
Yeah.
longevity purposes. And so that program that they offer is one that technically they don't like to talk about, like the housing consultants, but it does exist. So
Yeah.
viewers out there, it
Hmm.
exists. You can literally make your voucher into your monthly payment. And the other thing, I think there was one more before, and Felina's coming on. She's going to talk to us guys about the open house society. She's just introducing herself. It's going to be quick and whatnot. So the other thing I want to I want to pivot slightly in this last couple of minutes, and thank you so
Hmm.
much, Barry.
Of
Well, and
course.
actually, before we go to the last part of the story, is there anything that you want to tell the viewers out there, maybe about anything special for 2026, or meaning like in terms of loan programs or benefits? What's the benefit for using you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like
Oh, Felina's here.
2026 is going to be a very pivotal year for home buyers, right?
Mm-hmm,
This
mm-hmm,
is the opportunity. I feel like, you know, I don't want to say, I don't know how to word this correctly, but not your last opportunity, but this is
mm,
one of those opportunities to where, like how we experienced with COVID, where interest rates were very low, right?
mm,
For buyers, this is going to be your opportunity to really be able to get a good deal. right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because the lower interest rates get, the more competition we're going to get in the market, right?
Right.
And that, you know, alleviates some of the leverage that you have when negotiating, such as, you know,
Right.
asking for seller concessions, reducing the price, you know. So, you know, this is the year that you want to really try to take advantage of in order to get a good deal, you know, because I feel like
Mhm.
2027, we're going to start seeing a different market, you know, as far as, you know, rates are concerned, and, you know, more buyers are going to probably jump in to the market.
Well, here's the thing. You want to hear something crazy,
What's
Barry?
that?
Because I'm into this type of stuff. Interestingly enough, 2026 is the year of the horse in Chinese zodiac,
Oh,
and
okay.
that symbolizes like energy
Mm-hmm.
and freedom and
Yeah.
bold actions.
Yeah.
So we have to ask our viewers, take that bold action, be that
Yeah.
fire
Yeah.
horse.
And I'm really feeling that. You know, I'm feeling that
Mhm.
type of energy. It's like, you know, this is the year to really go after it, you know?
Yeah, it's to go after. It's almost like
And
saying
yeah,
Kofa to go back and get it. Like, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. And so,
Um,
and not to get too religious, but on New
yeah,
Year's I went
sure.
to church, and you know,
Oh,
that was
nice.
the message. It was you know, about
Mhm,
taking dominion and dominating, you know?
mhm,
And I feel
mhm.
like that is the energy for this year, is just to really,
Yeah,
you know, go after it.
absolutely. Speaking of going after it, Felina, she's going after this open house tomorrow. Hi, Felina. How are you?
How are you guys?
Hey,
Good.
good.
Welcome to the broadcast. You're actually our ending segment. Our ending segment. Just like, tell us a little bit about, what you're doing tomorrow for Cedar Chase. If you have anything special. If not, that's okay too. Tell them what people can expect. And also tell them how you can help, be their perfect. I don't know about perfect. I shouldn't say that. Be their realistic home buying
That's the word.
agent. Yeah, because you got to make these
Yes.
people realistic. So talk to us about that.
Yes. So Cedar Chase, I'll be hosting the open house tomorrow from 1 to 4. I'll be there until 4 p.m. It's a beautiful home. It's in Clinton, Maryland. It's a 5-bedroom home, beautiful open concept. And just check it out. It's a beautiful house, and whatever questions you guys have, whatever you need, I'm there. I'll be present. If you have any questions about just anything about the house, yeah, just I'm there. I'm available. I love to help. I'm looking, this is a good location. It's a good spot, especially if you're military or government workers. Andrews Air Force Base is right down the street. It's really close. Lovely shops. It's just, and I grew up there, so that makes it even better. um,
You're like the best cheerleader for this.
yes. So yeah, check it out. I'll be there tomorrow afternoon. And if you have any questions, I love answering questions, full of answers. And yeah, I'll be there. Yeah.
Felina, tell us how you are different. Like, what's the Felina way as you're helping home buyers, especially first time home buyers, and even people that are going to a newer home? How are you going to help them? What makes you unique? What gives that Felina flavor?
Um, you know, I love helping. Like I said, I love answering questions. And one of the things, even for myself, just being when I bought my own house, I was nervous. I didn't have all the answers, and you don't want to. Most of the time, you're nervous about even asking questions because you don't want to sound like a
Mhm.
fool, you know.
Yeah, exactly,
But
exactly.
that's what I'm there for.
Mhm.
There's no such thing as a dumb question. Ask the question. Don't be afraid to, ask about whatever, any part of the process, the pre-approval process, the lending process. If I can't answer, I'm going to direct you to somebody who can. And I'll do everything I can to get you every bit of information, and I'll walk you through that entire process. And I'm available, and that's the biggest thing, because that was one of the things I appreciated when I bought my own house, was that my agent
Mhm.
was available for me. And if I had a question, I'm texting like, "Hey, what is this?" So that's the Felina flavor.
Mhm.
Better than Tony Statra's Creole seasoning. Okay, so But
So you heard it from her. She'll be there at Cedar Chase tomorrow. And if you do not have a buyer agent, she is that person for you. If you do not have a lender, Barry is that agent for you. If you need to list your home, guess what? I'm that agent for you.
Yeah.
So did we have any final things that we want to say, Barry? Any final comments, things, or anything like that, Barry? Any events coming
No,
up?
yeah, I'll just say, I appreciate you, hosting this. I think this was
Of
very
course.
helpful and some good information for people to chew on, and hopefully,
Absolutely.
get enough to encourage them to, step out there and
To
get
make
it started.
choices. Yeah.
To make
Bold
choices, yeah,
steps.
yeah, for sure. So
yeah.
yeah, so I'll say, look, go to applywithberry.com, if you're ready to make that step. Or even if you feel like you're not ready, still go to applywithberry.com. A lot of this is just informational stuff that you can use so that you can make the best decision going forward. So, other than that,
Excellent.
I pray everybody be blessed and enjoy the rest of your weekend, and let's go.
Felina,
Yes.
you?
And
Any
come
last
out
things?
to the open house. I'm gonna have some candy. I'm gonna have some
Mhm.
cookies. Okay.
Yes,
Come get something to drink.
yeah.
Okay.
I love it. I love
Come
it.
out his house.
So,
Okay.
you're right. Coming about his house. But thank you guys, and thank you for the viewers in the audience. Again, I'm Shayla, the helpful realtor. I've been in practice for over 20 years now. I think I'm going on my 21st year, which is kind of crazy. It means I'm
Wow.
getting old.
Yeah.
But I enjoy, like Felina said, I enjoyed the process. I was actually my own agent when I bought the house, so imagine that anxiety. So I'm able to take the anxiety that you have as sellers and really disperse that energy away from the anxiousness of it all, and really get you calm and have you breathe a little bit as you go through the process. I invite you guys to join all of our Instagrams, follow, like, and share, and we'll see you next time on the broadcast. This one is New Year, New Home, which is
Let's
the
go.
fire horse in Chinese.
Let's go.
So let's go!
Yeah, let's go.
With that, guys, I say goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Peace.